This scenery is incredible. Look at it.
And what are we doing here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Let's check out the room.
So this video is all about our adventures Team Duck in Nepal. It is about our charity work, seeing wonderful new things in Nepal's completely different culture. This whole experience began on the 17th of August, 2019. Staring out of the plane window, we're about to see Kathmandu for the very first time.
Look excited!
We drove in a rather cramped bus towards Dulakel. None of us really knew each other yet. This is where we're staying.
Are you ready? We're in Dulakel, and that's a sign saying we're there.
Compared to quiet old England, this place was chaotic. Packs of stray dogs would roam the streets. The next day marked the start of our volunteering. So me, James and Annabelle, the mighty C team, set off in a taxi to our school for the very first time.
Good morning, Nepal! It was a good day.
Today was a good day. We started teaching, or what is it? We're not teachers, we're assisting.
Well, we were teaching.
Okay, yeah, we were teaching.
Full responsibility of a class.
16 children.
And it went well.
And it went really well.
Played a good game of hangman.
Played many games.
Duck
Many
geese.
games.
It was good.
As the week went on, it's fair to say the work got a bit harder. We tore down an old sink and started work on a brand new hand washing station. It's estimated that 1 million lives a year can be saved if people can wash their hands. So what we were doing was actually important work.
You get a video?
Oh no, sorry.
Whilst we dug and mixed cement, the other schools were preparing for a special tourism festival. The actual thing was pretty spectacular. Me and the teacher had a pretty sick dance off. I won this dance battle, and when we weren't dancing, we were exploring more of Dulakel. We climbed up 700 stairs to a temple of construction and destruction. Our first week was over, and it was time to go to Kathmandu for the weekend. It really made Dulakel seem quiet. After a great night out, we got a bit down.
Are we having a good time in the pool?
I'm having a great time in the pool.
How is Kathmandu, guys?
This is not on!
We were off to the Monkey Temple, our first stop in this very busy day.
Look at all those flags!
With thousands of flags and hundreds of monkeys, it was a pretty good first stop.
We're out here in Kathmandu, we're at the Monkey Temple. Some little girl just got attacked.
By a monkey.
Annabelle's being accosted by an old man. We may never see her again. We'll report back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Annabelle got away from the old man.
Yeah, good so.
Next up was Durban Square. It had been hit pretty bad by the 2015 earthquake, but it's fair to say it was still stunning.
So intricate.
Swayambanath, the next beautiful temple. It was the next morning. Sat on the roof of our lovely hotel, staring down at the city. We were about to go to our next destination, Chandagiri Cable Car. Strangely, here we were a tourist attraction, with many people taking a photo of us because we were white. Our first weekend in Kathmandu was over.
It's a video.
It's a video.
It's a video.
It's a video. It's a video.
It was a brilliant experience, but it was time to go back to Dunakel, volunteering. Lessons were going well, the hand washing station was going well, and me and Sol still got to work out, despite not having a gym. In Nepal, there are festivals all the time. So on Thursday, unsurprisingly, there was another one, Tej. A festival for girls, for a happy marriage. It was really good fun, but soon it was the weekend again, and we had new plans. We were heading to a Buddhist temple, up in the hills. With it being such a long trek, Sol blessed us with his life advice.
Best way to get back at a leech, suck their blood.
How do you like it?
Wow, what a glamorous shot that is.
James gave all of us a real treat.
Are you ready for this?
Get that leg up in the air.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
There
Flex
it
it.
is.
Flex it.
Why are we here?
This place was amazing, the temple of Unamu Buddha, a prince who fed himself to tigers. First we were admiring the view, but next thing, we were eating lunch with monks. It was surreal, I was broken. Soon after, we went into the prayer room, where we couldn't take photos, but it looked something like this. We were the only white people there, apart from those that were trying themselves to become monks. It was crazy. Soon we began walking back. That monastery was surreal, a proper adventure. We didn't ever really hang around, so the next day we went to a different Durbar square. Some of the art there was incredible.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was a pretty nice place. However, later that day, me and Serena went for a jog and one-upped its beauty.
So beautiful. This is the most beautiful thing ever.
Oh, thanks. Say the nicest things.
Bye, doggies.
Bye, dogs. Beautiful. Beautiful fam.
You may remember Tej Festival from earlier. Well, it still wasn't quite over, so we journeyed to a local temple to see what was going on.
Namaste. Welcome to this temple. Thank you. Our mayor of this unique hill is inviting you over there for the dance.
Well, we couldn't say no, could we? The festival was great fun, but after it, we had to go back to teaching. It turned out, getting there wasn't always that easy. We taught more lessons, including on sex education, and did some finishing touches to the hand washing station.
Can you do the voice? Can you do his voice?
Yeah? You want to take a picture of me?
Let's come past here.
Before we knew it, our 3 weeks were over.
It's been a pleasure to spend these few weeks in your school.
Equally as important, we hope you remember all of the dance moves. We've taught you the woe and everything.
We couldn't believe it was over. But soon we were catapulted back to Kathmandu. We went to the Garden of Dreams. A small bubble of green in Kathmandu. As the adventure continued, we drove to Pokhara. We were in our new hotel in Pokhara, where soon we'd be starting our trek.
Oh my god!
When Annabelle wasn't trying to spit on me, it was a lovely place. We took a very bumpy bus along a so-called highway to a little village called Nayapur, where our trek would really begin.
Smile.
It was time to start walking. We were going up Poon Hill, a 3,200 metre peak in the Himalayas. It really did not take long to start seeing some amazing things. Like a praying mantis. And what was soon to be our worst nightmare, leeches.
No, it's
That is insanely peculiar.
We got to try wild cucumber, which is very nice and sweet. And we were thrilled to find out we were in an open defecation free zone. We ate some flowers,
Oh hi, I didn't see you there.
which did actually taste very nice. We slept here in the village of Gandruk, and the next morning I woke up hoping to see some cool mountains.
Over there should be a load of cool mountains.
No such luck. Leeches were everywhere,
Leached onto the...
And there's
These guys,
and I mean everywhere.
Oh, and there's one on my shoe.
Mountains kind of appeared,
That is Annapurna 3.
and eventually we got into deep jungle.
Oh hi, I didn't see you there. I'm Serena and I'm just trekking through a jungle, looking out for leeches and having a good time with my friends.
Yeah!
Well, man, where the fuck are we? And what are we doing here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We got sucked dry by leeches.
Look at that. That is from one leech.
Leeches are shit. I've had 3. Will's had 3. Serena's had a bunch. Everyone's been leached.
Despite these horrific leeches, we carried on walking. The scenery was incredible. The leeches kept biting and the weather was not improving. Most of us didn't mind.
This is what we should be able to see. That is what we can actually see. Hello. How are you? All this here should be all up there.
The very next morning we were getting to the top of Poon Hill, a place known for its amazing views. We really hoped the weather would improve.
Hallelujah.
At 4 in the morning, it was still raining, but as the sky began to lighten up,
We can see the mountains.
Right, we better get a fucking wiggle on, man.
Yes, yes.
slowly the clouds began to clear. And eventually, we saw them. The longer we stayed up there, the better and better it got. We could see Dhulagiri, and across from that, Annapurna, the most dangerous mountain, Annapurna South next to it, and Fishtail in the distance. We were so lucky to see such an amazing view, because as we came back down, the clouds began to move in.
Oh, I didn't think that was a video.
Yeah, we had breakfast with a view, but eventually it all disappeared again. Over the next 2 days, we slowly made our way back down from the top of Poon Hill. That's it.
Oh, so happy.
We did it!
Yeah!
Oh, so sweaty.
Thank you for letting us know, Ellie. For our final few days in Nepal, we were going to Chitwan National Park. It was our first time out of the mountains in weeks. When just eating lunch, we saw our first elephant. And from our hotel, we saw even more. That night, however, it got much stranger, and we saw our first wild animal.
What the heck? There's a rhino in the road.
There's a rhino.
Me, Serena and Megan, being the dumb tourists we were, decided to follow. We were so amazed.
Why is there a rhino in the road?
This is the rhino?
Yeah.
We followed a random man into a rice paddy, following this rhino.
We're in the middle of a field, in our pyjamas, chasing a rhino, and this is the most ridiculous thing I think ever. Like, there's a rhino just there.
Well, the night just got stranger. On the way back, we bumped into an elephant, who was chained up because he was apparently ill. Well, we knew that probably wasn't the case, so we didn't tip the guy. But at the same time, it was an elephant, so it was pretty cool. I mean, I touched it. The next morning, we went on a proper safari. Yeah, it was pretty cool, but the coolest thing we saw were the rhinos again. Next thing, we were getting into the river ourselves.
Hello, do you ever get this?
We saw a fair few crocodiles. James Curtis was not on this boat, for he had done something really quite stupid.
Dab,
Whack!
those stitches,
Whack!
this treatment.
Quite good actually, to be fair.
Whilst having lunch that day in a restaurant, James decided to do the best dab he could, fell off his chair and split his wrist wide open.
Any sense.
Well, the idiot was happy. It was the end of our time on safari, but also it was the end of our whole trip. Goodbye, Nepal. It's been one hell of an adventure.